Everyone says pace wins games, at least in football gaming. So I've built a team using the fastest players in Football Manager 24, from Adama Traoré to Kylian Mbappé to lesser known names like Jonathan Kwarku. This squad has blistering speed everywhere, but here's the question. Can raw pace alone actually win the Premier League? I'm giving them 3 seasons to find out. Alright, so here is our absolutely rapid squad. We have picked pretty much 2 players from each position in our team, plus a couple extras like 3 goalkeepers, and the quickest 2 players in each position. Obviously, Kylian Mbappé, the quickest player on the game, tied with this guy, Kwarku, who is very quick, but doesn't really have anything else going for him. And in terms of ability, obviously we have some incredible players like Valverde, Hakimi, Camavinga, and the like, but obviously some not so good players too. In terms of our best starting 11, this is what it looks like. So it's put Adeyemi up front and Mbappe on the wing for some reason. So maybe we'll have to lock in Mbappe up front when the season starts. But a pretty good looking side with Mbappe, Adeyemi, Foden, right? The midfield's pretty decent too. Bamba is not quite up to scratch in defensive midfield, but I mean, he's got the pace, so we'll see how that all plays out. And in terms of defense, decent Mickey van de Ven, actually a very decent starting 11. And even our goalkeeper here, the Italian, is looking pretty good. You might also be wondering why all these guys have free transfers. I put that on all the best players so that like the club doesn't sell them if a good offer comes in. Sometimes that happens in FM, but if you set them to leaving on a free at the end of their contract, I'm pretty sure that won't happen and they stay. In terms of our bench players, obviously the likes of Adama Traoré, who is, as we all know, the pace monster. We actually had a couple players in our youth side. So this South African guy here, and I actually think I know this guy's Nigerian as well. So let's just refresh this team here. Obviously the team's going to stay the same, but they'll come in to the bench. And yeah, like I said, this is the formation we're going to start with this season, but we could change it moving forward into next season. We've also made a appropriate tactic with high tempo, slightly more direct, run at defense. We want them obviously running with their pace a lot and pass into space so teammates can run onto it. In terms of transition, we're going counter press, counter, distribute quickly, as we do want to. We actually might remove roll it out because I wouldn't be opposed to long balls from the keeper. And out of possession, very high line in defense, very high press. A couple of different player roles, anchor and box to box. I forgot to change them. So let's get into our first of 3 seasons in the Premier League with the fastest squad possible. We started off the season with an incredible pre-season run and beating Manchester United 1-0 with Kylian Mbappé scoring the goal on the Premier League opener, going unbeaten for our first 2 months all the way through to the end of September. Then our first loss came on October 21st against Manchester City as we lost to them 3-0. But then we bounced back with a lot of incredible victories afterwards, including the standout game against Nottingham Forest where we ended up beating them 7-2 with a Kylian Mbappé brace from a penalty, Valverde getting on the score sheet, as well as the beast himself, Adama Traoré, putting it in the top corner. However, in our last 2 matches against Arsenal and Liverpool, we took 2 unfortunate losses, with Adama Traoré getting sent off at the end against Arsenal and Mbappé scoring for us against Liverpool, but just not good enough. And that has left us in 5th place in the league in our first season here. So that is pretty incredible. And we're, 12 points off, so we're pretty far away. But in terms of our games, in terms of losses, we've only lost 3. So if we can convert some of these draws into wins, we could be able to do it in the rest of the season. Now, the second half of our season was pretty generic, but we did go on a very good unbeaten run after our pause at halfway for, 8 games in a row. Then lost to City, lost to Brentford. But then after that, our game against Chelsea was one of the highlight games with Mbappé breaking through and the clearance going to Adama Traoré, scoring the first goal of the game. Reece James then scored an incredible top corner free kick. But we then responded, Adama Traoré down the wing, crossing it into Mbappé at the back post, who scores the rebound off of Sanchez. And then we went one further with Foden, putting it through to Dyson, who scores for us. And Chelsea weren't done yet with Caicedo pulling it through and then off Liam Delap, off our goalkeeper, our backup goalkeeper, Roofs. But we managed to hold out and win 3-2 in the end against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge as well. And the rest of our season, like I said, was pretty generic. We lost to some teams that we should have lost to. We beat some teams that we should have beat. But our final 2 games were absolutely incredible, drawing with Arsenal and beating Liverpool to go on the final match day of the Premier League into 4th position, pipping Aston Villa, who I think lost their final game, into the Champions League spots. And we only lost 6 games with lots of draws, so if we could convert those draws into wins in the future seasons, man, this fastest 11 team will be looking good. In the Cups, however, we performed well in the Carabao Cup, beating Bristol Rovers 2-1. Then in the 3rd round, we beat Burton 2-0, Mbappé double, and beating Tottenham, Mbappé once again, and once again Mbappé in the quarterfinal. Then we faced Championship side Bristol, beating them 6-1 in the first leg, drawing 2-2 in the second leg. And in the final, we faced Aston Villa, and in the 25th minute, Camavinga gets it to Valverde, who hits a long shot of dreams into the top corner. But Aston Villa couldn't handle our attack, with Kylian Mbappe's pace bursting through the defensive line, making it 2-0. And in the second half, we had Mbappé once again top corner finish with the assist from Camavinga making it 3-0. Then to absolutely put the nail in the coffin, Adama Traoré with a back post header. Who would have thought anyone would see that? And Aston Villa did in the 88th minute end up with a consolation goal from Onana. But we ended up winning the Carabao Cup 4-1. Then in the FA Cup, we started off beating Peterborough 4-0. Then Everton 3-0. Middlesbrough 2-0. Then had what appears to be a ridiculous game against Nottingham Forest that finished 4-0 at full time as they scored a last-minute equaliser right after a Kylian Mbappé double in the 80th minute to put us in the lead. But then Kylian Mbappé scored twice in extra time, and Latif Blessing, our Ghanaian winger / centre mid, also scored, ending the game 7-4 extra time with a Kylian Mbappé quadruple or double hat-trick. Then in the semi-final, we had Aston Villa once again, and we beat them 5-0 with an incredible all-round performance from the team, which means we are now through to an FA Cup final, which we are going to play versus Arsenal. And this is going to be our starting 11 going into our big FA Cup final versus Arsenal. And here we go. Arsenal's lineup looking as strong as ever with Kepa in goal. That might be a weakness for them. And here's our team lineup looking very pacey, very quick, as it should, as the players come out on the field to start the FA Cup final. And we are underway at Wembley Stadium for the FA Cup final. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Kylian Mbappé from a Kepa era. We absolutely prophesied the Kepa downfall, and our pace has done him a crazy amount. Kylian Mbappé with the interception from an absolutely horrible pass from Kepa to get us in the lead 1-0 in the FA Cup. Valverde, with an incredible through ball to Adama Traoré. Traoré, with the save from Kepa. Mbappé from the corner, down to Adeyemi. Wow, what a finish. 2-0 in 34 minutes against Arsenal. They haven't even had a shot So we are absolutely cooking them. Look at this. Bang. Phenomenal finish. Oh, Arsenal with the free kick here. Trossard not going in. Davies with the interception there. Van de Ven. Out to Davies. Adeyemi running down the line on the wing. Crosses it back. Adama Traoré at the back post to get the third goal. 3-0 up. Man, Adama Traoré is a heading machine, apparently. I'm pretty sure he's like 5'9" or something. But for some reason seems to be scoring a lot of headers. But what a goal, what a finish from Adama Traoré. And wow, we have pretty much sealed the deal, wrapped up the FA Cup final. Van de Ven, Godfrey, oh, we almost got a fourth as well. And we have done it. The fastest 11 has won not only the Carabao Cup, but also the FA Cup in their first season in the Premier League. Here comes the trophy lift. Handing it over to our captain. Who is that? I don't even really know who that is. It's probably Mbappé. Let's just assume it is Kylian Mbappé. Oh, hey, with the trophy lift. I don't know why he's off center. But the fastest 11 win the FA Cup. Wow, there we go. 3-0. Incredible season. Let's see how they can do in their second and third season and if we can win the Premier League. But before we do that, let's take a look at what happened in the Premier League. Obviously, City finishing, Wolves, Sheffield, and Everton getting relegated. Chelsea didn't have a very good season, finishing in 8th. And in terms of top goal scorers, Kylian Mbappé only got 20 in the league, which I'm quite surprised about, finishing 4th. Erling Haaland on top. João Pedro had a phenomenal season at Chelsea with 20 goals. In terms of average rating, none of our players in the top 20, which is pretty unusual considering we finished 4th. In terms of assists, once again, none of our players up there, so we must be quite defensively sound as a very fast team somehow and for some reason. But let's look at our team stats and see how they did. So in terms of average rating, no shock there. Kylian Mbappé, our best player. Now this is a bit of a shock, even though it was off the bench. Our second best player was this guy, Maseko, but not really. Mainly just getting assists off the bench. But Alphonso Davies had a good season. Our goalkeeper had quite a good season as well, the 32-year-old Italian. Valverde played well. Traoré, wow, who would have thought Adama Traoré getting 18 goals in a league season? Good on him. Adeyemi with 10. And yeah, in terms of assists, it doesn't seem like there was many goals really spread around. Phil Foden got 11 assists, as to be expected. Camavinga with 8 as well. Now, as we go into the second season, I'm going to keep this formation the same. I think before we had this guy on support, so we're going to move Foden to attack. And then we had these guys as inside forwards. I changed it for the final, but for the whole season we had that. And I actually probably don't think that suited our team the best. So we're going to give this formation one more crack to see if we can win the league. And if we don't, we'll change it for the next season. So yeah, let's get into our second season in the Premier League with the fastest 11. Our pre-season and our Premier League campaign has started off incredibly with a massive 6-1 win in our second Premier League game at home against West Ham. We lost to Brighton, lost to Forest, but other than that, beat Liverpool 3-0, Chelsea 3-1, and Tottenham 4-0, and then Man City 1-0. All in succession. So we are looking extremely good with those slight tactical changes to the team. Newcastle also beat 5-0 with an Mbappé double. Stoke City, newly promoted, beat them. Lost to Villa. Beat Brentford, then beat Arsenal 2-1. And after our game at Arsenal, we had Manchester United, where Alvaro, our left winger, 33 I believe he is, but still quick, scored a goal there. Adama Traoré spins the defender, bags it in, top corner, and Phil Foden finishes it off with a penalty to beat Man United 3-0. In the Premier League with no Kylian Mbappé. He must have been injured. So a very good first half to the Premier League season. Find out in a second where we are on the table. And in the Carabao Cup, another great start beating Stoke 3-0. Bournemouth 4-0. Then after the Bournemouth game, we drew Liverpool in the quarterfinals, where they opened the scoring there with McAllister, Gakpo getting the assist. And we responded in the 55th minute with Federico Valverde with little tiki-taka football into Adama Traoré getting the equalizer. And in the 90th minute, Maseko wins the ball from a horrible pass from Alisson Becker, and we win the game 2-1, snatching victory right at the end versus Liverpool. And we drew Cardiff in the semi-final, so we could be on for another Carabao Cup win here as the fastest team. In terms of Champions League, our first Champions League season has been unreal. Look at some of these stats. 5-1, 2-0, 6-1 versus Atletico Madrid, and Mbappé hat-trick. No shock there. Undefeated so far in the Champions League. We've got a pretty easy draw. Do have Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen to come though. We also beat Man City on penalties in the Community Shield with Adeyemi scoring our goal. Must have been another own goal. For some reason, won't let me show you the official score sheet of it. But Haaland scored 2, but we won on pens, picking up more silverware for the club. And we actually could be on for all 5 trophies this season, which would be unreal. We are first in the Premier League, just ahead halfway through the season of Man City and Arsenal, with the game in hand though. And we are second in the Champions League, in through to the quarterfinals. We're probably going to face Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final. This season, it's looking really promising. Could it be the first season where we finish top of the Premier League with the fastest team in Football Manager? We then went on to have a pretty good season as it looks for the rest of the season. We lost here to Liverpool, had a good 1-0 against Chelsea here, beat Forest, beat City, drew with Tottenham, but there's a couple losses in there, as you can see, losing to Brentford, Bournemouth as well, and some great wins though. Kylian Mbappé double against Stoke, beating Arsenal 2-0. And another highlight game of the season was against Manchester United with Adeyemi scoring in, I think, our 4th last game, or right towards the end of the season at least. With another second goal here coming from Valverde. Mbappe scoring a penalty, and Hakimi out on the wing with a little deflection, making it 4. And then we finish the game with a 5-0 victory with Mbappe getting blocked with his shot, but then Phil Foden scoring. And we actually made it 8-0 in total on aggregate against United for this season in the Prem, with a very strong end to the season. And in terms of the Carabao Cup, we lost to Arsenal 3-2 in the final, with Gabriel Jesus scoring in the 90th minute, Saliba in the 88th. That really just put the nail in the coffin, and we weren't able to claw back, even though Mbappe scored towards the end. Now in the FA Cup, we started with a draw against Sunderland, but we beat them in the replay. Then we beat Southampton, beat Luton, beat Newcastle, and in the semi-final we thumped Liverpool with Maseko getting a double, which is pretty crazy considering his stats. There's so many white stats here, which means we are into the final against Bournemouth. And in terms of Champions League, we lost against Liverpool, beat Bayer Leverkusen. Then in the round of 16, we lost our first match to Inter, but in our home leg, we beat them 3-0, going through to the quarterfinals, where we faced Napoli and ended up in a 2-2 draw with them. They got a last-minute equalizer. And then in our home leg, we beat them 2-1 with an own goal through to extra time, actually. Mbappe winning it for us in extra time. Then in the semi-final, first away leg, we lost 4-2 to PSG. Mbappe getting the double against his old club. Then in the second home leg of the semi-final to get us through to the final, we lost. Adama Traoré with the goal, and Kvaratskhelia getting a double for PSG. So very close to hitting Champions League position on that one. So where did we finish in the league? And we finished second place to Arsenal by 7 points. They did us by a fair amount. But overall, a very, very successful season from the fastest 11 We still could get 2 trophies. We've got runners-up Carabao Cup. And we still do have next season to win the league. In terms of how our players went for this season, Mbappé got 3rd on the average rating, 2nd in goals. Now, he only made 22 appearances, so he must have been injured. Let's have a look. Yeah, lots of injuries. 3-month injury there, 4 weeks. Wow, if we had him for the whole season, who knows? We definitely could have been up there winning the league. Traoré was up there with the goals as well. In terms of assists, was Foden there? Valverde actually was there. Phil Foden, not really to be seen. Maybe he also had an injury throughout the season. And hey, our goalkeeper, Provdel, on the clean sheets board, finishing 2nd there. And so looking at our average rating, of course, Kylian Mbappé killing it up front. Alphonso Davies with an incredible season, getting 13 assists. Valverde, Provel, and Adeyemi up there as well. And yeah, in terms of assists, Valverde top, Traoré with lots of assists from the wing, many goals too. Lots of also assists for Davies. He was up there in the end with Adeyemi. Garcia doing pretty good coming off the bench. We now go into our final season with the fastest 11 to try and win the Premier League. We are so close. We're one step closer this year opposed to last year. So before we head into our final season, let's go into our FA Cup final against Bournemouth. Can we do it 2 seasons in a row? And this is our starting 11. Everyone is fit, which is very good to see as we go into our FA Cup final. So here we are again, FA Cup final day at Wembley Stadium against Bournemouth, a decent-ish side, but definitely would not say it matches up to our very high-paced team. Wow, shades of last year. We've got a highlight to start the FA Cup. Hopefully, oh my gosh, the pace of Mbappé almost winning it back, but Adama Traoré has it out here, driving on the wing, blasts it over. Davies driving out there from left back, massive cross. Adama Traoré's seemingly trademark new back post header almost scores it there for us. Alphonso Davies, oh my gosh, what an incredible run and goal from left back, inverting in. That almost looked like he did like a Ronaldo chopper or Rabona or something with his weak foot, because Davies is left-footed. Let's see what happened here. No, just a right-footed strike, bottom corner around the keeper to put us in the lead in the FA Cup final. Mbappé, Van de Ven at the back post. 2-1. Let's go. We dominate these FA Cup finals. Foden, ball through to Adeyemi, who buries it bottom corner. Wow, Van de Ven double at the back post with the header. Mbappé with it. Oh, he's absolutely skinned Sensi there, but Bernardini has saved it. Traoré with incredible pace, skinning defenders, cuts it back. Hakimi overlapping, coming inside, finishes it bottom corner. Valverde. Oh, on the free kick. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 seasons in a row, we win the FA Cup, the fastest 11. Captain Kylian Mbappé once again. And here we go for the trophy list. 2 seasons in a row, FA Cup champions, the fastest 11. Look at that incredible season from us. 2 trophies, runners-up, 2nd in the Prem. And as we move into our next season with Champions League football, once again, we're going to try a new formation of 4-2-3-1. Hopefully unlock Phil Foden a little bit more in that cam position. And let's see if we can win the Premier League in our final season as the fastest 11. And to start the Prem season off, we have been abysmal. We have been shocking. Lots of draws, lots of losses, losing against mostly big teams, apart from Brighton and Fulham here, and not that very many wins. And the few wins we have recently have just been 1-0s. So I think it's pretty safe to say our formation change hasn't been the best. and we are actually 8th in the league. But the good news is we're still only 11 points behind Liverpool, so there is capacity to turn things around, as this looks to be a really low scoring season in terms of points overall in the league. Carabao Cup, we're doing quite well as well, getting pretty good draw as we go through into the semi-finals. We should be making the final of the Carabao Cup there, which is good. Community Shield, we won. We beat Arsenal 1-0. Phil Foden scoring the goal. Another Community Shield for us, another trophy. And in terms of Champions League, wow, we beat Real Madrid 2-1. Copenhagen, Galatasaray, Napoli. Wow, we're actually undefeated in the Champions League. So looking really strong. We do have Porto and Juventus still to play, but overall pretty good in regards to that. We've already qualified, or at least in the playoffs, and we are second, just down by 1 in goal difference. And we have drawn Liverpool in the FA Cup, so we're still actually in it in all competitions. We're actually going to go ahead and change our formation once again to what we had it as last season, as clearly that was far superior than what we have this season. So let's see if we can make an ultimate comeback and win the Premier League with the fastest 11, or also potentially win the Champions League as well. And here are some of our results in the second half of the season. Obviously, unfortunately, lost to United. We beat Norwich 3-0. We beat Bournemouth 3-1. Brighton 3-0. Had a not very good January, losing to Tottenham after getting a red card, and losing to Liverpool 2. Then we beat Newcastle United 2-1 in the 90th minute with Camavinga scoring the winner. Then the game after that, we had Man City at home, and we started off the game with a great interception with Dyson intercepting there. Then Man City responded with Jack Grealish off the post into Eric Garcia. Then in the 90th minute, we win the ball back. Mbappé hits it through to Foden, and Foden finishes the game, burying it top corner, winning us the match 2-1 in extra time against Man City. We then went on a crazy unbeaten run to end the season, beating West Brom, beating Burnley, and even drawing with Chelsea, Arsenal, and then beating Manchester United 5-1 on the final day to end up finishing 8th. We finished 8th. Look, we were only 7 points off second, but obviously we got Conference League, so a bit of a spoiler that we won a cup. But we were very close to the top 4 spot, but unfortunately, yeah, not close enough. Didn't win the league. But we did once again win the Carabao Cup, having a pretty good draw. No major teams here. Beating Nottingham Forest 2-0 in the grand final, with Kylian Mbappé opening the scoring here from an interception in the 3rd minute. And that's one thing I have noticed with this team, is a lot of interception goals. But we finished it off in the 90th minute, so each end of the game, with Valverde scoring a great goal there to make it 2-0. Now, in terms of our FA Cup run, it didn't last very long, as we drew with Liverpool at home, then away we lost to them 5-2. And then in the Champions League, we started off very good, winning lots of games. I think, yeah, we were undefeated at the point, well, halfway through the season. We then lost to Porto and drew with Juventus. And that, unfortunately, by 1 point, 2 points, 2 points from top, but we were just out of contention of the automatic qualification, finishing 9th. Then we faced Celtic, who we lost 1-0 away in the first leg, and in the second leg, we ended up drawing with them and getting knocked out by Celtic, and it is Arsenal and Real Madrid in the final for that. So that is our season. Another 2 trophies for the fastest 11, which is pretty impressive when we look at it. Within 3 seasons, having the fastest ever squad in the game, winning 2 FA Cups, 2 Carabao Cups, and 2 Community Shield trophies. I would say a very successful test, a very successful team. Unfortunately, just not strong enough in the Premier League, finishing 4th, 2nd, and then finishing 8th in their 3rd season. Maybe they started to get a bit older and lose a bit of pace or something. But that is it for today's video. Leave a like if you did enjoy it and hit subscribe, as we're going to be doing more content like this. So if you enjoyed this video, you'll like the future videos we do. And until next time, I'll see you boys later.